Crashes between passenger vehicles and big trucks, they can be horrific. And if your lawyer doesn't know that they have to be treated differently from car crash cases, it can potentially be costly to you and your family. Let me give you an example. Picture yourself driving down a two-lane highway, 2 lanes in either direction. You're in the right lane, you're taking your time, you're in no hurry, you're driving the 55-mile-an-hour speed limit, the traffic is light, there's no one in front of you, the sun is shining, the weather's dry and clear, and life is good. Directly behind you, though, is an 18-wheeler, and this guy's been on the road since 4 a.m. this morning. That's 12 straight hours. He has to get to the freight yard by no later than 4:30 this afternoon. That's 30 minutes from now, and he knows he's not going to make it if he stays behind you doing the speed limit. The left lane is off limits to 18-wheelers, and he knows this, but there's a lot of space ahead of you, so he decides he's going to try to make you go a little faster. He creeps up on you. He begins to tailgate you. You look in your rearview mirror and all you can see are the headlights of this big rig. You wonder, what is this guy doing? But you keep driving the 55-mile-an-hour speed limit, and this is stressing out the truck driver. He's afraid he's going to miss the cutoff time to drop off the container he's been hauling. So he angrily blows his air horn, hoping this will get your attention and get you to speed up. And you're startled, of course. Your heart starts pounding. You don't know what he wants. You don't know what to do. So you do the safe thing, and you do nothing. Getting nowhere fast, the truck driver looks in his side view mirror, and he sees an opening in the left lane. All he has to do is get around this guy, he thinks to himself. He'll only be in the left lane for as long as it takes to pass you, and then he'll get back into the right lane. Then he'll be good. Then he won't be late. So he makes his move. He downshifts, and he darts into the left lane. At the very moment this 80-foot-long behemoth is next to your car, something happens. The truck sideswipes you. It's not immediately clear why. Maybe the sudden maneuvering caused his load to shift, causing the trailer to sway. Maybe a mechanical failure caused the trailer to become unstable and lose its traction. Maybe the driver was fatigued and he misjudged how close he was to you. What is known is that being sideswiped caused you to lose control of your car, and it flipped a half a dozen times, according to witnesses. The consequences of the truck driver's actions? Fatal. Your family wants answers that the police won't or can't give. They search online for a personal injury attorney, and they make a call. The attorney says she's been doing personal injury cases for a long time, and that your family is in good hands. Unfortunately, though, the lawyer wound up treating the case like it was a car crash. And the case settled for 6 figures, but it should have settled for more. A lot more. Why? Because the lawyer didn't treat the case like the commercial truck collision case that it was. And she should have. The lawyer never found out the driver was over the 11-hour maximum he was allowed to be on the road. Never found out the freight loader didn't strap down the cargo like he was supposed to. Never found out the trailer hadn't been inspected in over a year and the suspension was broken. Never found out any of this because she didn't know to ask. Had this information been known, the lawyer would have been able to show how many more people were responsible for this devastating wreck, how many more people should have been held financially accountable for the family's loss. And more importantly, if these people had just done their jobs, this tragedy would never have happened. Knowing how to handle a truck crash case is about holding an industry accountable for the safety of every single person who comes in their path, every single minute of every single day. When crash cases only involve passenger vehicles, between each other, between sedans and SUVs, minivans, pickup trucks, the responsible parties are usually limited to the owner of the vehicle and the driver and their insurance company. And that's, if the owner and the driver are different. But when a big truck is involved in a collision with a passenger vehicle, well, that's very different. And when I say big truck, I'm talking about commercial vehicles that have a gross weight in excess of 26,000 pounds. Vehicles like 18-wheelers, 14-wheelers, 10-wheelers, construction vehicles like dump trucks and cranes and cement mixers, and transportation vehicles that carry more than 16 people like buses. 26,000 pounds, by the way, is 13 tons. Fully loaded, 18-wheelers weigh 80,000 pounds. That's 40 tons. 40 tons. Those big rigs are monsters on the road. And when the drivers are negligent or the equipment fails, the consequences, they're catastrophic. Here's what makes commercial truck crash cases different from passenger vehicle crashes. Commercial drivers have to take a written test and a road test to qualify for a commercial driver's license, or a CDL as it's often called, before they can drive a commercial vehicle. They are trained in speed management, space management, how to cross intersections, making U-turns, night driving, avoiding aggressive driving, and avoiding fatigue. And avoiding fatigue is why they are limited to driving 11 hours in a 24-hour period. The vehicles and trailers and containers have to be regularly inspected and maintained, and when they are involved in a crash, trained investigators are on the scene collecting data. Lots of different people need to be notified as soon as possible to preserve a claim against the responsible parties. There's the commercial vehicle owner, the trailer owner, the shipping container owner, the freight broker, the freight shipper, the freight loader, the safety compliance companies, and the various insurance companies that might be implicated in the crash. And then there's the experts that the lawyer has to hire to go out and conduct an independent investigation and collect data on behalf of the client. Data such as the onboard electronics, the vehicle's black box, if you will, that show the speed and GPS location, when the brakes were applied, if the brakes were applied, whether the blinkers were used, the following distance, the freight yard records, the dash cam video, cell phone records, driver employment records, driver logs, maintenance records, repair records, training records, all have to be collected to be kept from being destroyed or erased or go missing. And all this information needs to be preserved as quickly as possible because it's vital evidence that may reveal what happened in the moments before a crash or reveal institutional negligence, making a crash all but inevitable. I pray that you or a loved one are never in a commercial motor vehicle crash, but if so, I hope this will give you some insight on what you and your lawyer needs to know when a commercial vehicle is involved in a passenger vehicle collision. I'm Dave Buckley. I'm a personal injury attorney. I hope you never need me, but I'm here if you do. Call me anytime. I'd be happy to talk to you and answer your questions. My contact information is below. Thank you very much.